Assalamu alaikum to all participants. I hope you all are doing very well. As introduced by Brother Ahsan, my name is Zia Akhtar, and I will be sharing my thoughts on a topic that is very new for Sharia circles. It has been around for last 7 or 8 years in the industry, but for the Sharia related, Islamic banking related and Sharia related controls, it is a bit new. So I will be sharing my thoughts, and for this training, I have developed a model as well. So I will be trying to share that model with you as well. And we will see, and inshallah, after that, we will be having an extended question and answer sessions for 15 to 20 minutes. So let's start. Why do we need to have an automation in Sharia department? Why do we need it? When the Sharia is something that a system cannot interpret like this, it's very subjective in nature, and a similar scenario can have different results depending on who is asking the question and what is the current environment. So why do we need a Sharia related system? Why do we need automations in Sharia? So let's discuss this. Do organizations need automation? Do we need an automated solution for an organization? Before I start discussing on that, this is one of the surveys that I conducted a few months back, and look at the result. Do you think the Sharia department needs a custom designed software to manage the regulatory requirements and to increase efficiency? 91% of the people said that yes, we need some solution. We need to get out of this emails and all these things and documents, and we need to have a paperless software through which we can interact with the organization and we can document our results and findings. So yes, there is a big demand for automation of Sharia departments, and many banks are thinking over those lines. What will the benefit that automations will give to us? Automations can do multiple benefits that at times without automation, it's very difficult. It reduces turnaround time. It reduces the turnaround time significantly. It improves the coverage. And when you are automating your processes, you tend to rethink the complete process. You redesign your process and identify the weak link. This is because I have been involved with these automations, and I have seen these things that when you plan to automate a thing and you document your processes, at times there are multiple areas that are very weak. We identify that we are doing a repetitive nature of work, which we should not be doing. So it identifies, it removes those errors and gives you a better turnaround time. But for this automation, you need to have a digital footprint. A digital footprint means that the data should be available to do these automations. And like this, because when you have a digital products and services, you have a digital footprint of your products and services, your transactions and everything, then it's very easy for you to pick those data, automate it, and remove those repetitive tasks and make a more better use of your time. Okay, to embark on the journey and to become a next generation Sharia function, what you need to have a clear roadmap. That why are we even thinking about doing the automations? Why don't we just use the emails, because everything is in my inbox. I can search for the next for the previous approval 3 years ago. I will just search for it and will share it for you. This is how many Sharia departments, many staff in the Sharia departments tend to think. But it's cumbersome, it takes a lot of time, and it's prone to errors. So the mindset should be there. Unless there is a clear mindset, it will be very difficult to have these automations done. First, for the automations, first thing that you need is document your processes. Just hold on, because transform your internal methodologies. Rethink your process. Identify those areas where you can digitalize. We still have those murabahas being done on the papers, on the papers in most of the bank in the world. We are not using a digital offer and acceptance system in majority of the banks, and we are not using new technology to remove our processes, remove our steps. And for every Islamic transaction, in any Islamic bank that you go, the first issues that everyone has, the customers has, is there is a lot of documentation that has to be done. Why can't we reduce these documentations? Why can't we just use purpose-built software for that? We have to think over those lines. And then let me just share you an example that how we have in our bank have done this automation for our Sharia audit. So I will just share first the tools that we are be using, and then I will share you with certain dashboards that that will give you a feel that how an automated department looks like. And then I will share with you the insights that how many mandates that we have saved. Just to give you an example, I'm currently working at Faysal Bank. Faysal Bank has 600 branches, and we have only 3 staff in Sharia audit department. And from the last 6 years, we don't have any observation that the regulator or any external assessors has identified that we haven't identified. So we are using it in a very effective manner with just 3 people. So for the Sharia audit, I'm just taking an example of Sharia audit because we have just 30 minutes for the presentation, for the 10 minutes for that model that I have prepared, and then discussion. So I am just giving you the example of Sharia audit, and we can discuss about the other departments, Sharia compliance, Sharia advisories, and all these things. So being a control function, what does a Sharia audit do? Sharia audit have to do multiple things. First, they have to plan effectively. They have to identify the Sharia related risk. And then they have to identify the risk and then communicate it on the timely basis. For this, so what these automations have given to us? They have, with these automations, we have improved our assurance level, because now we are not focusing on every issue. There are many issues that we have identified, we have automated, so we don't waste our man-days on those. And not only this, we have a bigger coverage, because rather than going for the 20% sample, we are covering the 100% sample of those data that is digitally available to us. And then this means that we are more efficient now, we are more effective now, and then we have more deeper, very different insights than the traditional audit. How we can automate? Because see, basic idea, everyone has a basic idea, but how we can automate a department? For the internal Sharia audit, we aligned our vision, and we, for the Faysal Bank, we created 2 new resource and positions. So there are now 2 data analysts that report into me, and this is like, I have a Sharia audit team of 3 people, including me, and then there is 2 data analysts that report into me, and then we identify the risky areas in our audit department, not only Sharia audit, but the complete audit department, and create dashboards for them. And not only dashboards, we do this robotic process automations and everything, so that the regular task, that is like, you have to go for a particular task, you have to go and access the core banking system and identify a report and do a variance analysis and then report it to someone. This can be done by the robotic process RPAs, and you don't have to worry about that. And your resource is then free to do more focused things. So not only this, we have designed dashboards, and these dashboards we have given access to the auditees as well. So the auditees have a live access for what is how Sharia audit is interpreting their transactions. So they can on the real-time basis identify gaps, and then it's very easy for them to rectify those errors with the Sharia. They communicate it to Sharia, and then Sharia can give them the solution, rather than Sharia audit identifying an issue after 1 year when the commodity is lost and nothing can be done. So with this automations, it has reduced the income leakages, and it has improved the assurance level by assessing certain areas at 100% population level. So how we use it? We use data visualizations. With these dashboards, we can do the continuous monitoring that I just told. And then this process mining. Process mining means that we continuously review our processes to identify how we can improve those processes of the auditee and for ourselves as well. See, a traditional audit steps would be that you will just identify the objective and approach, and then communicate those approach to the auditee, and then do a kickoff meeting and identify a sample based on basic random criteria like volumes, like some risky customers, and then report your findings. Now, we can identify all these things like risky customers and what are the risks immediately, even the processes. So what we do is we identify the risk and then directly obtain the data, analyze the data, identify the risky areas. And after that, here, either we do the targeted testing, or if we are doing for certain areas, the complete digital footprint is available, we will just do the complete review on the 100% sample and then visualize those results. Traditionally, for the fieldworks, we used to do the interviews, the walkthroughs, risk assessment after those walkthroughs, and then do the simple risk assessment approach, that process and controls, identify steps, and then communicate on those results. Now, it's very easy because you can embed all of these steps in the softwares. And with this, if the data is available, then you can perform everything at one go and then very easily deliver the results. So we do the data analysis pre-audit, and then after that identify the risky areas. Even if there is a high risk areas, we will just do the continuous monitoring of that area, and after that we will just so the business is always at toes, and they always know that what are the risky areas with them. I will just stop here, and first I will just take some questions, and then I will go and conclude the presentation. Yes. Is there any question, Brother Hassan?
Yes, sir. There is a question by Muhammad Abid, and he's asking, how long did you take to establish and introduce this automation in the Faysal Bank, maybe?
It takes some time because it depends on the systems that you have currently. If you are doing everything manually, then it will take a long time. But if you have certain things on the system already, so you can analyze those data, and you can use it. Because see, I will just share with you that it took me 4 days only to prepare the solution that I will just show to you. The solution is that all you have to do is to put a Murabaha PDF file in a folder, and the business intelligence software will fetch the related data and will tell you on 1 or 2 KPIs initially, because it's just for the demo, that if the transaction is Sharia compliant or not. So for this, like for a Murabaha, if it takes to you like for every transaction has 7 or 8 pages with different annexures, and you have to compare that what we have purchased and what we have sold is same, or is it that we have sold before we took the possession. So for this, you may take 15 or 20 minutes for a single transaction. Now, if it is 20,000 transactions, it will do that in maybe 10 minutes. So this is what I want to tell you is, if you have that digital thinking and you have some basic knowledge, it's very easy to do the automations.
I understand. I understand.
Okay. So there is another question by some anonymous attendee, that how we can automate Sharia advisory where new issues find. So, okay. So with the advisory, there are 2 types of advisories. One is that you have an external advisory you are providing to external customers and to internal customers. For the internal customers, first, you have to have a software for that, rather than attending those emails and filtering those emails and forwarding those emails to your colleague to answer those. So you won't have any trail. Even if some staff just resigns, then it will be very difficult to have the trail of that particular approvals. Instead, if you have a workflow system, so you will have a digital footprint of everything. You have a complete trail, and it will be very easy for you to automate, to identify that maybe how many approvals we have given to a treasury department between a certain period, how many exceptional approval have we given to a particular department on a particular product by a particular relationship manager. So you can do everything. I will just show you 1 or 2 live dashboard that we are using in Faysal Bank, and you will have a more clear understanding on that. Okay, so Ali Adu Sharif has that, how does this automation enhance effective Sharia audit in Faysal Bank? See, brother, it has reduced. We don't need multiple resources. We don't have, for the 600 branches, we are just operating with the 3 people, and we cover mostly a large population set rather than the 15 to 20%. It's not possible for those transactions, like for the murabahas and all these things. It's not possible because we don't have the digital trail for that. But for the others, like for treasury reviews and for profit distribution, because in Pakistan, profit distribution is a quarterly required audit. So what we have done in Faysal Bank, we have created a dashboard that connects with the core banking system and that connects with the pool management system. So what we do is we do a parallel calculation based on the core banking results, compare it with how the pool management system has calculated it, and raise exceptions. So it takes us 30 minutes rather than for a quarterly audit. And it has saved around 50 to 60 man days for each quarter. Okay, brother Shehbaz has asked, do you use descriptive analysis for Sharia audit? Not yet, because we need to have a more detailed data for that. And we are just at the start, and we are not using descriptive analysis as of now. But we intend to use it. We have something for the learning management system. We have certain sufficient data, but we have not started it yet. Muhammad Ali Rashid has, so the system is based on capitalism and leads to unemployment. No, brother. So if the cars are there and someone is trying to learn the driving, so you said that because it will lead to the unemployment of the donkey owners, and that's why it's not correct. The dynamic of every environment is different. Every new era, the dynamics is different. So we have to be aware of those requirements and improve ourselves. So let me just conclude, and I will just reply the other questions later. So I will just conclude it, because I think rather than giving a presentation, it's more easy, it's more interactive to answer the questions, because in that way we will just focusing on the core issues that you are raising. Okay, so the robotic process automation is basically an advanced version of macros. So what it does is it just you have to first train it to do certain thing. Like I have created a dashboard, and on dashboard I want to know that if a particular branch does a murabaha on oil, if it does a murabaha on oil, I just want that transaction to be with me. So the robotic process automation will first review the dashboard on maybe after every day, and filter this information, and then use the branch code to email to that branch manager that please, this particular transaction, please share the PDF documents with the Sharia audit or with the Sharia compliance or with the Sharia review department by tomorrow. So you have created a macro, you have told him to do these complex tasks. So it will almost always do that task. It will always filter the data, and once there is a murabaha with oil with a particular branch, it will automatically email it to that branch, and you will get the data. So see how strong this is. You will see this very, very strong tool, robotic process automation, and we should be using it. Human error reduction to a minimum, because you will just train it first, you will test it, and then once you have tested it, you will just use it for a number of transactions. Productivity increase, because you don't have to do this repetitive task. I will share with you an example. For our central bank, there was a certification requirement of remittances data. And for this remittances data, there were like 100,000 transactions. And for these transactions, there was the central bank required that internal audit do a certification on those remittance data, that what, because the bank, the central bank, if to incentivize the remittances, what the central bank does is that it has a certain criteria that if a transaction falls on that criteria, central bank gives 10 Saudi Riyal on per remittance to the bank. So the banks claim those subsidies. And the central bank has said that internal audit has to certify that what the bank is claiming is correct or not. In our internal audit department, there was one resource who used to do all these remittances related certifications. And for that, for every month, he used to work for 15 to 20 days just to certify those data. Then we created the dashboard. This was the first dashboard that we created. And now it took around 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And there is a zero risk, there is a zero error on those data. Plus, the model is improving itself day by day because it has a lot of data for the previous quarter. So it's very effective. So productivity increase. Now that resource is being used for some other quality audits rather than doing this copy pasting thing. Cost reduction, it lowered the process cost and is easily scalable. Ease of implement is very easy to implement. And you always have the trail and everything. I will share that presentation with you so you can just read it. This is the same dashboard. This is the snippet of that dashboard that I was just talking about. See, system has identified 30,578 dual count transactions. So we are claiming a commission on 30,000 transactions. So see, this is such a big data, and now it's not even part of our complicated audit discussions because it's just an automated thing now. And this is another dashboard that we are using, and it tells us on real-time basis the current status of every audit. So for every team, there is a current status that what team has done which audit and which processes are they using. So this is the first screen. There is a multiple screens. So we can drill down. If you want to ask me about anything about Sharia audit, and before you will just complete your question, I will give you the result. So maybe if you will just ask that, can you tell me the high risk issues that you have identified in the treasury from the last 3 years? And I will just tell the plan year, select it, and then I will just team the Sharia audit team. I will just select the audit group treasury, and you will see the result. It's such a powerful tool. And if before that, if our boss used to do to ask all these questions, it took us plenty of time, maybe 3 or 4 days to collect the data. And then there is always the risk that if the data is not the formula, Excel formula, VLOOKUP, if there is anything if there is a mistake in anything, then all the data will be lost. Now this software is basically connected to our audit software. So everything that we are doing, it's being reflected here. And then there is another data. Now we have for the Faysal Bank, we have the complete data because there are multiple audit teams and review teams like Sharia compliance, Sharia audit, and then we have the service quality that do the knowledge assessments of the people. So what we do is we collect all those data, have linked those data with our dashboard. So I exactly know that a particular employee has what is the weak area of that particular employee. So when my audit team again goes to that employee, they don't ask random questions again. They exactly know what is the problem with that employee? So they will just ask them. Same is the case with the learning and development team. They exactly know that for a particular region, what are the weak areas. So they just give the focus on that particular area. It reduces mandates, it reduces expenses and everything. So let me answer a few more questions and then I will just complete this presentation. So the brother Suleiman is asking, in Faysal Bank, what type of system using? For the audit, we are using an audit software. For the automations, we are using multiple softwares, Power BI and ClickSense. In Sharia, for the Sharia audit, yes, we are using a software, and that software is effectively purpose-built. We have spent a lot of time on developing that software, and this software is linked with our dashboard, and that's how we have everything in our tips. So, Muhammad Shaba, do you recommend Sharia scholars to equip with data analytics skill? Yes, definitely, and I highly recommend the Sharia scholars to learn those skills. It's very important to them, for them to learn these skills for the Sharia banking, and not only Sharia banking, maybe later for just to analyze previous fatawas, because it has so many tools. Sayyid Abu Bakr, how accurate is model to predict, detect Sharia non-compliance instances? Brother Abu Bakr, for the prediction, we need to have sufficient data. We haven't started the prediction thing, but we will soon be starting this prediction on the knowledge level thing, because we have sufficient data on that. But for others, we haven't. We are not starting it yet. Okay, so there's a bit non-relevant question here related to a product for Faysal Bank. So what I will do is, any attendee can just, if they can connect with me on LinkedIn and then ask the question there. And then there is a comment, so I will just not answer that comment. So Brother Sadaqat want to ask a question. Brother Hassan, can you just unmute him?
Assalamu alaikum, Zia bhai.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Firstly, thanks, Brother Zia, for your excellent presentation on the subject.
Thank you.
And really, 100% sampling through the audit automation is really amazing and matter of great satisfaction to all the stakeholders. This is great if this is achieved. My question is that, what are the financial benefits to the bank against incurring the cost of this automation? Because always automation is incurring huge cost, and thereafter implementing and subsequently maintaining the systems are very costly. And secondly, with this automation, any control is in place to prevent Sharia violations while executing the transaction by the staff in advance. Is there any control with this automation, or just we are reviewing the transactions after the violation happening, or finding the transaction after violation committed by the staff? Can you please?
Jazakallah khair, Brother Sadaqat. Thank you for your encouraging remarks and some very relevant questions. First, yes, the cost is, initially the cost looks very high, but the benefit that it has, it's uncomparable. You have a better assurance level, higher assurance level, your staff cost reduces, your staff fatigue reduces, your staff learning improves. So there are multiple benefits. You can just name, there are so many benefits. Your staff motivation improves, because rather than I am doing a murabaha review for last 3 years, so I will just get bored. Rather than in this case, you have you have your staff focus, attention, everything, because they can focus on those areas that really matter, rather than the repetitive tasks. And regarding your other question, I will just share you the solution for that, inshallah, after this presentation. I have basically made a solution just for that. So I will just share it with you after, I think, 5 minutes, inshallah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. What are the basic scope of external Sharia audit? I think it's written in AOIFI standards. So if you have anything particular to ask, just connect with me on the LinkedIn, and then I will answer to that, because it's not relevant here. Okay, Muhammad Abid, I'm a Sharia advisory officer. What additional qualification that I need in order to be well-versed for developing or involved in automation? First, you have to think that you want to learn that thing, and now you have it. YouTube has plenty of resources. Power BI, ClickSense. Power BI is the easiest one, or Tableau is the easiest one. So you can always just go to the YouTube and learn these things. I have learned the Power BI all through YouTube, and you will see the solution that I have prepared in 4 days. So if I can do it, you can do it in a much better way. Brother Suleiman has asked that, do the systems gives as circles when given proper data? Brother, I couldn't understand it. So if you can just retype your question. Yes, I will be sharing presentation, inshallah, with Brother Hassan, and he can share it with everyone. For the presentation, the major challenge for Sharia automation is data. Until all the contract execution data is not stored, it will be more difficult to address the Sharia risk. So do the databases or just on the papers? Brother, if you are talking about the asset side transactions, we still do it on the papers like every other bank. But I think we will soon be developing certain solutions for that. Let me just show you the solution that I have prepared, and then we will take more questions. What I have done is, I have created a basic dashboard just for this webinar, just to show you the power of the automations. What we do is, let me just share with you. Okay, here. So you can see this screen, or you are just looking at this. You are.
We can see your screen. We can see
the other screen. Fine.
Yes, all files we can see.
Okay, fine. So what I have done is, I have created multiple files for the Murabaha transactions, and I have put it in a test folder. If you want, I can create another file. So just to show you, I will just replace it with 9, that this is the new file. So this is just some of the random data. I will just create. So this is a Murabaha documents. It has all the data for the Murabaha transaction, purchase, acceptance, Murabaha sale, everything is there. I will just put this PDF file as Murabaha webinar and publish it. So what we did was, we identify this transaction 9001. It has fetched that transaction, fetch the complete data, and gives you that for each stage what was the amount and quantities and everything was there, and the branch and everything. So this is, so what it does is it fetches the data from the transaction, put all those data in multiple screens, and the commodities and everything is there, and then it tells you on those basic criteria whether the transaction is Sharia compliant or not. So for the sake of this transaction, let's see this, there is one transaction here. So for this transaction, every stage the quantity is same. So now that the quantity is same, it says that it's Sharia compliant transaction based on that criteria. You can have multiple criteria, because see, if we have unlocked a basic thing, we can do all the comparison on that data and create multiple what they call it, KPIs for those transactions. And if you just see a non-Sharia compliant transaction, you will see that for the stage B, the commodity was the acceptance for that, because what is the stage B? Stage B is purchase intimation and then purchase acceptance. Because there was some issue with this stage, so it says that there is a non-Sharia compliant transaction, because what you purchased and what you sold was different. So now I will just take some more questions. This is the solution that it took me not more than 4 days, and not even complete days, because after office, I just wanted to create a solution just to show you the power of the data analytics. And I am creating these solutions for the detailed murabaha transactions, for istisna transaction, for salam transactions, inshallah, and for all these transactions. So when you will just put your PDF file, it will fetch, it will identify what type of mode it is, and then it will do the analysis on that system, on that transaction, and will give you the basic idea on that data. So your team doesn't have to compare the dates, compare the volumes, compare that, oh, the declaration or the murabaha sale was done before the possession was made. So you don't have to worry about all these things now. Yes. So there is one question about the 3 UD. I will just first answer that different products will have different Sharia rules. How you manage to automate the audit testing of each rule? It's very easy, because for each product there is a different product code, or there's a different product subcode. So based on those triggers, we can always create that if the product code is 301-002, you will use this checklist. It's not that complicated. I would especially like to have this feedback on this model. And I would suggest everyone to just try to implement these types of solutions. It will not only improve your quality, it will benefit your organizations as well. Brother, there are multiple participants who have raised their hands. Just ask. Does the system linked with the branches? Yes, with everyone, because it's one of the system, like that the payment reconciliation system or remittance system, or it's connected with the core banking. So which means the core banking is linked with the branches. So anyone, if they does a single transaction in a branch, you will have it. You will have a trigger completely. And then there is one more thing. You can create triggers as well. You can create triggers. So you will, for a particular set, if you say that a particular transaction for a particular customer, just email me. So the system will just email you once this transaction is done. So it's very tech. If linked, will take much time until response? No. It's the linkage between core banking. It's based on the database level. So it normally doesn't take much time. It takes 1/10 of the time that you use than the Excel. It's much faster than the Excel, and it's much faster than the many other softwares. Brother Umar, the data analytics, yes, the data analytics can do that as well, the clauses of the contract as well. But this solution that I have prepared doesn't cater this, because it requires you to do this natural language processing and all these things, and it takes and it gets much costlier for this. So I don't think for now, when we are just at the very infancy stages of automation, and that we need this type of sophisticated tools. It can be done. It's not that difficult, but the problem is the cost associated with reading the text related to especially Sharia, and then it's not like the legal language. For the Sharia language, it's very difficult to interpret things. So this is what I said in my initial few minutes, that it's very subjective when it comes to the clauses and everything. How much will be Hujjatullah Barati? How much will be the cost of the system? Brother, you have to just check their websites for this. And if you have a data analytics team, they can do it for you. Brother Asmar, why data analytics is not automating? Why you need to hire 2 additional people for that? Brother, we need to hire few specialist resources to automate new processes. For new processes, you have to know the processes first, that what you are automating, and then after that you have to do the coding for that. You have to access the core banking for that. So in backend, it's a very complicated process. After that, it takes sufficient time, like maybe a month, or for the pool management system, it took us 3 months to automate that system. Brother Suleiman Al-Harsi, 600 branches comparing with 3 staff. Yes, let me just show you one thing for that. No. So this is the dashboard that I showed to you regarding the analysis. This is the live dashboard, and I can just quickly go to a year, to an audit team, and then see if how many programs I have used for this, and what are the observation areas, if there is a high risk issue, everything, what type of Sharia non-compliance related things. And so I can do everything very quickly. And then let me just show you one more thing for the see, this is the heaviest process that you that for an audit of a bank. One of the highest time consuming sections is KYCs. For the KYCs, multiple digital digital footprint is available. So we have created a dashboard for that. This dashboard connects with the complete a core banking system, analyze on multiple reports, and gives you the result. So we have 600 branches. For 600 branches, previously it was around 2 days per branch. So it's like 1200 man days. Now it takes around maybe 10 man days to analyze, and it's always live. So I will not because it's live data, so I will not be opening it. I just want to show you the power of the BI. It's very powerful thing. So we have been using it, and we have been enjoying the benefits. And I'm not saying that you have to have only 2-3 people. What I am saying is that if you have the structures correctly in place, then you don't need multiple resources to give a better assurance level. Does the system cover also treasury and trade finance? Yes, everything. If you have good software for the trade finance, system can connect to it, and it can evaluate it. It can it can even give, because we are developing the dashboard for our trade finance transaction right now for the Faysal Bank. So if we can do it as well. No issues with this. Brother Hassan, if there is any more question.
Jazakallah, sir. Thank you very much, and it's very eye-opening, and seeing it from an angle where people usually just present and not see what they're talking about. I think this has been a great experience for everybody who have joined. Taif is thankful for your time and presentation. I would request you to make dua for all of us who are here and to be successful in our endeavors. Inshallah. A lot of people are appearing for CSAA exam and CPA exam via Taif as well. Please make dua for them as well. Thank you for your presentation, sir.
Inshallah, and for even for that, for the CSAA exam, inshallah, I will be sharing the more updated practice questions, inshallah, maybe in 2 days. It will have further 50 or 60 more questions, inshallah, on the governance as well. So you can just connect with me on the LinkedIn and you will get the free copy for that. And inshallah, if there is a good demand, then what we can do is we can have a complete training on hands-on training on 2 or 3 specific Sharia related problems, and we can automate it fully through a physical training, inshallah. Maybe in Dubai or somewhere else, we can have the complete solution developed right in the training, inshallah. If we can explore that as well.
Inshallah. Whoever
Inshallah.
write to us, we will give you feedback. Inshallah, we can conduct.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Make dua for me as well. And may Allah give success to everyone of us in this dunya and akhirah. And for those who are appearing in CSAA, may Allah give them good success, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Shall I sign off, brother? Walaikum
Yes, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum. Assalam wa rahmatullah.